Yeah, I'm John Muench. It's nice to see you all here. Goodness, where to start? I would imagine that if I asked who here is interested in caring for underserved and vulnerable populations, pretty much all you guys would raise your hands. I felt the same way. I think that came from junior year summer service project at Notre Dame. I was sent to Utica, New York to work with this strange thing that was happening. There was this process in the country going on called deinstitutionalization of the mental health institutions, essentially all the people who've been living in long-term psych hospitals were being discharged out to the community, partly because of better medication and control of their symptoms, and partly for economic issues. But a lot of them didn't have good places or care out in the community once they got there. So I spent a summer kind of thinking about this and kind of working in the trenches and trying to figure out care systems for some of these folks. And it really was one of those formative experiences that we all had in our lives. So I got back to college and said, I'm going to go to medical school, even though I've been in a great books reading program for the prior few years. Kind of switched gears, went to medical school. Decided after a couple of years in medical school, it was, I guess, sometime in my third year, I was really thinking I'd be going into psychiatry, but came to the realization that the most interesting mental health work was done in family medicine clinics. That the real vulnerable populations and the really interesting mental health problems were done in the primary care setting. And that's well established that the primary care system is the de facto mental health care system in the United States right now. So if you're interested in mental health and behavioral health, I think it's a huge part of what we do in primary care and family medicine. And I also come at this from the perspective that everybody I see in our clinic, I work down at the Richmond clinic, and everybody I see comes to me with problems. They don't come to me with mental health problems or physical health problems. They come to me with problems in ways that are sometimes impossible to tease out which is which in our very false dichotomy here in our culture. So these are things that I think that we as primary care docs experience every day in our care of our patients. And it's something that we've come as a society to recognize that our split mental health and physical health systems no longer work to do what we want them to do. It's just really inefficient, and truly these things need to be integrated back together. And so that we're working on bigger systems of care that will integrate the mental health system, the addiction system, and the physical health system all into the same place. And so we have a lot of that going on nationally, especially in Oregon, where we're very progressive in these things as well. So in my practice down in Richmond, it's an FQHC. I work with vulnerable populations. I started out down there with a really typical family practice. Practiced a lot of maternity care for a lot of years, a lot of hospital care, a lot of just general primary care. And over time, interestingly, my practice sort of started migrating into 50 and 60-year-old schizophrenics. I don't know how that happened. I see about 50% of my practice now is, really people with serious mental illness, people with addictions problems. We're doing a lot of buprenorphine, Suboxone, heroin, and opiate treatment down at Richmond. So it's a real kind of a specialty niche, although it's really meeting the needs of our community, I think, in ways that we really hope to do. So I guess I'll leave it at that for now. I like to ride my bike. What else? Yeah, I'll leave it at that.